So I guess, the more I'm learning about, oh,
Oh,
that's my dog.
that's not a cat.
She was not happy about me
Yeah,
talking about the
yeah.
greatness of cats there.
No, she said you've been doing that long enough. Hey everyone, it's Elliot.
And Todd, welcome to Two Designers Walk Into a Bar, an ongoing conversation about pop culture and iconic design.
Today we're bringing two of our favorite things to the bar.
You mean cats and posters, right?
Well, I was thinking of our friend and your debit card, another close friend of mine, but your choices sound far better than that.
They sure do. And yes, we do have a friend with us today, Paul Hennessey from across the pond, here to discuss some posters with us.
But not just any posters, the gold standard. Cat posters.
So pour a little extra condensed milk in your dulce de leche.
And maybe pick up some takeout sushi or pry open a tin of sardines.
As we do the stray cat strut back into the bar.
I'm not sure about a sweet cocktail with a side of fish.
Yeah, me neither, man.
We're back in the bar today, so maybe we
With our
should
favorite
officially
engineer.
kick this off. Yeah, with our favorite engineer slash design enthusiast slash poster shop owner slash British friend, Paul Hennessey. And Paul, we felt it was time to circle back with you and talk about everyone's favorite internet subject matter, cats, right?
Elliot, we did have this conversation a couple episodes ago about how cats is overrated. And, it
that's
should
true.
not
Well,
have been going on as long as it went on.
I didn't mean the musical. I meant
well,
the animal.
then
the
I'm
subject
less
matter.
prepared then, because I thought we were going to talk about the
you've been
musical.
doing 2 weeks worth of research on the musical.
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to sing Memory, sit down.
Or leave maybe.
No, we're talking about actual cats and posters because for some reason the internet is fascinated with the felines.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Paul, you said you can't. When we last got together, you said it was nigh impossible for you to even keep them in stock, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's last couple of years, it just became so obvious that, everyone just loves a cat. And I think there's lots of reasons behind it. I think we're going to get into that. But just for example, one thing that occurred to me immediately when we talk about this is, Catwoman, very recognizable.
Oh, yeah.
Dogwoman just doesn't sound the same.
But kind of like Cat the Bounty Hunter, that doesn't have the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Elliot, of all the arguments you've made for the wonderfulness of cats, Paul just really capped them all with Dogwoman, I think.
He did. Yeah, that's yeah.
So Paul, dude, say a little bit more about that. Like you said, you recognize like anything with a cat on it at your poster shop, people would buy. And were there particular things that you saw, commonalities? Like, were they mostly black cats, or were they cats advertising a particular thing?
Yeah, well, I think, black or white. That's really because like one color sort of pops against any background, so straight away you've got like a design element immediately. I mean, just think about some things that cats kind of symbolize. You could have horror cat, that's a popular genre. You could have like a cozy cat, you could have a jazz cat, I mean, it just goes on and on. I mean, it really goes on and on and on.
Yeah. Interesting. So we had done a little bit of just cat poster research, and I'm sure you've seen a whole lot of them, Paul. There's a couple commonalities. Elliot has a whole lot of insight into this, but what I see is a lot of them are European, and
Yep.
they some of them make more sense than others. Like we were talking, Elliot and I were talking as we were getting ready for this, the Ever Ready battery company back in the day, they had cats. It was like 9 lives, so your battery lasts forever.
Yep.
A poster I was really familiar with was the black cat Le Chat Noir, which is Cabaret in Paris, which makes sense. It's nighttime. It's kind of elegant. It's kind of fancy. But Elliot, you were seeing other things like for Philips and everything like that I was struggling to make the connection.
Okay, so yeah, we need to take a step back a little bit because I first encountered a lot of these posters. I need to plug one of my favorite European cities, Amsterdam, because in Amsterdam there is a cat museum right along one of the canals. We'll put a link to the cat museum, maybe some movies from the cat museum in our on our episode page. But many moons ago, when I got married, one of the places on our honeymoon stop was at this cat museum that we found out about. And in this museum, Philips is a Dutch electronics company, for folks who don't know. And there are several mid-century advertising posters that Philips put out and that I absolutely love. And other people do too. The originals are worth a fair amount of money. And so what's great about these posters, so for example, there's, and we can of course share some of these,
have all the
share some of these, on our page, but there's one that's for an electronic washing machine, and it has, Paul, going back to what you just said about the graphic quality of an all black cat or an all white cat. It's sitting, it's a white cat sitting on top of a white washing machine against a deep blue background, and it's licking one of its paws. And so I love the idea of, a cat is a clean animal. You always see it cleaning itself. And so this connotation is, your clothes, like Philips is just as picky about cleanliness as a cat, right? And so I love that connection and how that makes sense. So another one is a yellow background poster, and it's a black and white cat, and it's looking at a television. Philips used to make televisions. And it is staring at a picture of a fish on the TV that's sort of like a koi. And so the cat is stopped, and it's, enraptured by this fish. And what I love about that basically is the very subtle communication there is it's so lifelike, it'll even fool a cat, right? So it's like picture quality. So I just love that a cat thematically was used for different traits that they have as a hunter or as being super clean.
Okay, so the unpopular opinion, I would read that one with the television as the cat's kind of dumb and doesn't know the difference between a television and a real fish.
I will say one thing. So
I know we're gonna get a lot of hate mail for that.
No, from the internet. So I actually have 4 cats, and one of the things that I do just to mess with them from time to time on YouTube, there are like these wild bird videos where they'll set up these cameras out in backyards in the middle of the woods or whatever, and then put some bird seed right in front of them, and so these birds will come very close to the camera and they'll be singing, doing whatever, and I'll just get an iPad and run one of those videos and then prop it up next to the cat just to see what they'll do, and they eat it up. They love it. It's hilarious.
Do they just freak out? Is that what?
No, they're swiping at the screen and they don't understand why the bird goes away. Oh yeah, it's really, really funny.
Oh
well,
man.
I think you just hit something there, because obviously current day it's cat videos, right? And you're playing into that area.
Yep. Well, for my cats though, it's bird videos.
Yeah, but you can get a video of them trying to get a bird.
I get a video of the cat watching a video, and then maybe then the bird's taking a video of me videoing the cat. It's like this full circle.
Somewhere in an alter universe, there's cat tube, and they're watching bird videos
or people videos.
Yeah, people are, and then we're watching cats watching birds.
Man, this is like Inception all of a sudden. It's folding in on itself.
But kind of a cartoon.
But anyway, so getting back to, because I think, Todd, when we were in a past conversation we had, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you can defend your own stance.
They'll sound better than mine, I'm sure.
But you're a dog person. You are not a cat person.
I wouldn't say I'm not a cat person. I don't get it.
Well, I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
I've never known you to own a cat.
Yeah, that's true.
And I've known you to own dogs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I'm not saying that in a any kind of finger pointing kind of way. I'm simply making an observation. We're in the bar. It's friendly conversation.
No, you're right. I have owned a cat in the past, but not. I have had more dogs, and you brought up an interesting point when we were talking before about that, like why people are probably more attracted to a dog or a cat or whatever, a bird or a monkey. And I think you were saying, and this fits into the narrative you were just saying about the Phillips stuff, like cats can sort of take or leave you. They're just like, you're here. Yeah. Okay, nice to see you, but I might as well go somewhere else. So they're exotic, and obviously there's a history of them being exotic. So, they are fascinating to people because they can't understand them. Dogs are like, they wear it all on the outside. So they kind of have the cute factor for dog people, but I think cat people like cats because of, they're cuddly and they do things like that cats do, but they also love the mystery of them.
Mm-hmm. And they're stone cold killers.
Well, that's true, because if your cats, any one of your cats were big enough, it would kill and eat you.
Oh, yeah, in a heartbeat. Yeah. Scientists say that man domesticated dogs, but the cats chose to be domesticated. They kind of domesticated people by hanging around. And so they, the thinking is they have more agency. As soon as they get a better offer, they're out. It was when, I don't want to get sidetrack us too much, but it was when we became agrarian, when we stopped being hunter-gatherers and settled down and became agrarian, and we had stores of grain, and naturally rodents would be attracted to the grain, and so cats started to come around because that's a ready supply of mice. And people were like, these cats are keeping the mice away, like I'll keep them around. Paul, in places like Scotland, a lot of the breweries that make whiskey and things like that, they have cats on site for that reason, even hundreds of years later, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw that one back at you, because I think one of the big changes in terms of perception of cats is two American elements. One is, and it was mentioned right at the beginning, T.S. Eliot, the book of cats, right? Mm-hmm. That made these cats, it gave them personalities, so that really was a changer. And then the other one, and this is something I liked way before I got into design and posters, Tom and Jerry, Fred Quimby.
Oh,
yeah.
And that's kind of why, when you look at it, there's like a cut-off at like 1940.
Yeah.
Before that, they're kind of regal and feline, and then after that, they're clowning around.
They're silly.
Interesting. Yeah.
Sylvester and Tweety, that would be the other one, right?
Yeah. Well,
so there's a natural protagonist and antagonist there. People have associated dogs and cats as being sort of at each other, but cats will whoop a dog's ass in a minute, So, But I think, like you said, like the mouse or the bird and the cat, that's a lot more understandable. But that's interesting perspective, Paul, that until we get sort of mid-century with some American cartoons, they were not seen as characters, as cartoon characters. They were seen as mysterious and elegant.
Right.
Yeah, Paul, as you were talking, something just popped into my head. So one of the themes, and I've shared a couple of cat posters I have with you guys in my own collection, and Puss in Boots, that's a really popular theme, basically to sell shoes, right? Different types of shoes. And then I think also the fact that cats always land on their feet. Cats have, I think, the pads on the bottom of their feet. They have very good balance. They're very agile. So this idea of Puss in Boots and everything with regard to the elegance and the costume, that's one thing when I've been doing my research. I've seen that a fair amount. Have you come across a lot of those posters in your shop?
Yeah, I think that kind of plays into what we would say in the UK, like pantomime type imagery. Aladdin, Puss in Boots, Peter Pan, this kind of stuff. It's all kind of one genre.
Yeah.
But also, have you noticed that when a cat gets frightened, its fur stands on end, and that's a great visual.
And that really speaks to the horror posters you talked about. When I was looking at some of those, it's the eyes and it's the fur, the puffed up fur.
Exactly, and the eyes, as you said. So You know, some of the stuff mid-century that we were talking about, it's for like road safety or batteries or something like that.
Yep.
And you know, great. You've got black background. You've got this eye popping out. You know, it's a great visual.
Well, it's perfect, right, for the road reflectors. Cat's eyes. It's a black road, and then you have these gleaming shapes popping off that, of course, are you hit with your headlight. Now that's more of a UK phraseology. We don't. I think we just call them road reflectors or something here. In the you guys are much more romantic than we are.
Yeah, the difference with our ones, I mean, maybe in other countries, but originally ours, they were self-cleaning, so they were like made of rubber.
Oh,
so when you went over it, it wiped it, and that was the patent that the guy made. Well, in today's terms, billions,
right,
from the self-cleaning technology. Yeah.
So again, it's like I was saying earlier with the washing machine, it's this cleanliness aspect as well, right? It's kind of interesting. Then the other one that I've seen a lot is advertising yarn, right? Or textiles. So it's this idea of cats playing with a ball of yarn.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you want two popular themes, you get cats, and then you put yarn in that. It's a hugely popular theme. You know, it literally, you can't go wrong with those.
Another thing I've thought about that I've seen from time to time is advertising like seafood, something like sardines or other things like that.
Yeah, they like fish, they like milk. You know,
that seems pretty logical. Yeah, like I would definitely buy that. Yeah, one that we're gonna post, Elliot, was, and I think you own this one, the Puss in Boots one.
I do have I actually have two Puss in Boots ones.
Okay.
I have one at my office and I have one at my house, and I'm happy to
But that's like, is that? Do you have the one for the newspaper?
No. That one is amazing. I love that one.
I do too.
The one that I have here at my office is here at the bar is for a yarn company. And then the one I have at home is for traveling to Prague. It's a Czech Airlines poster. What was Czechoslovakia. You know, again, it's like mid-century.
Yeah.
And so it's Puss in Boots leaping over the skyline of Prague.
Well, that kind of fits because there was a lot of, as I said, we call it pantomime, but that kind of mythology, you know, fairly recent mythology, was a lot of cats in that too.
Okay, see, you know more than I do. I'm like, hey, it has a cat. I like it.
But I mean, yes, but talking about current trends, you know, I mean, what people want now is a cat doing something really weird and crazy, right? So there's a guy, and I would recommend people to take a look at this, a guy called Ravi Zupa, and his thing is cats getting drunk and doing strange things.
Okay.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. You got a couple cats like that right here with you now, Paul.
Yeah, like a bar fight or people falling asleep. And that's what people want. They want it as twisted as possible.
And the name is Ravi Zucker?
Zupa. Z-U-P-A. Or Z-U-P-A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Z-U-P-A.
Love it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, well, we'll put that in the episode notes, too. Paul, do you think that... what came first, the chicken or the egg? What came first, the cat video or the interest in the cat poster? Like, it sort of seems like the cat poster would be a thing with or without social media. Social media just sort of poured gas on the fire, right?
Exactly. I mean, it probably would have been popular anyway, but, you know, everyone's scrolling, aren't they? So for whatever reason, I don't know the answer to this one, people stop on the cats when they're scrolling.
Yeah, maybe they're already tuned into cat videos, and so still images of cats are getting that same, dopamine fix.
It could be.
I don't know.
Could be. I mean, people do stop on the cats, and I think they just simply want to know what's this one doing. I think it's as simple as that.
Right. Well, I think it's like what Todd said. I think they're enigmas.
Yeah. Well, I stole that from you. You had said that, but Paul, I have a question, and I don't know if there is an answer, but with cat posters being popular, very popular, do you find when people buy them, is their entire collection of posters at their house cats, or is this they just like this one?
Yeah, I think,
do they have a room full of cat posters?
Yeah, well, you get that, but
like Elliot.
Well, you would get that. People collect themes, but I think generally they like to look at it. They'll buy it, and as you were saying. And the beauty of posters, you can pay, as little as $20, and you can pay as much as $2,000, $3,000, and people are prepared to work through that price range. So that's what's cool about it, is that people will pay, quite a significant amount, as Elliot would, for a good
absolutely would,
for a good example,
Yeah, so if anyone out there has very expensive cat posters lying around they're not using, you can tube them up and send them to the bar. I'll find a home for them.
Yeah, I mean sell. You're not getting out of this one for free.
Hey, speaking of which, can I talk about one of my favorites?
Absolutely.
An expensive cat poster I'll probably never own. So I'll describe this. Again, we'll have this on our episode page, and I've brought it to the bar today. I've shared it with the two of you. I absolutely love this poster for, I guess it's a French brand, Marchal. Is that how you would say that? Marchal. Yeah, spark plugs. So for those of you listening, it's sort of this, not powder blue exactly, but sort of like turquoise kind of blue. And it's this very brushy, hand-drawn giant black cat. So again, Paul, going back to exactly what you said, a big, oversized sort of Peanuts-like giant black cat head. And he's smiling. He's all about it. He has big yellow eyes. And he's driving his red convertible, very French, right? It's a little mid-century, because this poster's from 1957, and it's by an artist named Jean Colin, Colin. And so there's minimal language on this thing. It really is, pun intended, I guess, cat-driven, since he's in the car. And so you have the red sports car, and then on the side you see this spark plug. So it's almost like It's like everything else is very loose, but then the spark plug is a much more literal, like, illustration of a spark plug, like much more true to form. And then it has this beautiful, simple hand-done script writing, cursive writing, and it just says, and I'm, again, my 2 years of high school French are going to come back to haunt me, mieux voir, and then mieux marcher. So the loose translation is see better, drive better. So I think the thinking is, again, like, obviously the cat has giant eyes, like I said earlier. And so it's like good spark, good power. Power is like your headlights, I guess. You could almost say like a battery, right? So you're like, you're seeing the road, going back to what Paul and I were mentioning with the cat's eyes. And then drive better. It's like your car is going to perform better. It's going to function better. So it's a better driving experience. And another thing cats are known for is just being very sure-footed, being very nimble, squeezing in and out of tight spots. And so I imagine this cat zipping around the streets of Paris in his little red convertible with the brand fresh new spark plugs in it, and he's having the time of his life.
So you're opening my brain here, because I think it's a very cool looking poster. I would love to also have that poster, even though I'm not necessarily a cat person. It's just really nice looking and very very artistic, But, you're opening my brain a little bit, because I hadn't thought about that. Like cat's eyes, they're sort of known to be able to see in darker light. And, it's like there's a strength there that they're aligning with that spark plug. At first, when I saw that, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I like it, but it doesn't make any sense. So thank you, Elliot.
Had you gone ahead and translated, like, did you try to figure out what was being said?
No, I didn't. Not to you. You told us so.
Yeah, so that was kind of the aha moment for me, right? So I think if we were fluent in French, if we knew French, if we were European, it'd probably be a faster read, right? So, but to your point, Paul, the reason this caught my eye is the composition, the fact that it's a cat, but also the colors, just everything about the loose style. Like, it feels very mid-50s, but it all just comes together as a package and really, really works. I really love it.
There's a couple of mid-century artists that do great animals, and John Colin's probably one of the best ones. And if you check out his zebra drinking Shinzano vermouth, that is something else. You've got to see that one. But I did a bit of research in this, because one of the best poster artists of all time was called Paul Colin. He did like the Josephine Baker stuff, and one of the biggest poster artists of all time. So I was like, these guys have got to be related. So I did like a little piece of it on my blog. But guess what? They're not related.
Oh,
really? So it's just like Smith or Brown or whatever.
No,
it's
I'd
just
say
some
it's quite.
common.
It's I sort of Collins, but anyway, yeah. So
Yeah,
Jean
yeah.
Collin and Paul Collin, yeah, very big poster artists.
Nice.
Interesting. So not
No,
related at
that
all.
was my little.
Nice.
That was my task for the week. Check that out. I didn't know. Couldn't find anything.
Huh. Interesting.
So, Paul, the one that I brought, which is, I think it's probably pretty common, and that was one of the reasons I dug into it a little bit. But you tell me, it's the one by Théophile Steinlen, and I probably butchered that French name as well, but it's the one everyone has seen. It's the Chat Noir, the Black Cat Cabaret, and it's the sort of elegant looking cat tail wrapping around the proprietor's name, Rudolph Salas, and the copy actually is advertising that it's coming soon. It actually says Tournée Chat Noir, so coming soon. And Chat Noir was a cabaret. It's one of the first modern cabarets actually in Paris, in the Montmartre district. How do you say that? I always say Montmartre.
Well, I can't do, but it's Montmartre, something like that.
Montmartre. Okay.
Yeah, but
you just slur the last part of it, and that makes it.
Yeah.
Not that you slurred, but
no, I can't do it very well. I mean, I'm work very closely with a French person, and one of the words we say all the time has that R in it, and I'm so embarrassed because I butcher it every time.
Yeah. I asked a French person too, because it's been one of those. I know. Sorry, we're not talking about a neighborhood in Paris. This was about cat posters, but I was like, "Is it pronounced Montmartre?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's it, just like that." I'm like, "Well, that doesn't sound elegant to me, but okay."
You've got to do the R. You've got to do the R.
Oh, okay. But so anyway, okay, Paul. My question is, you're very familiar with that poster, aren't you?
Right. Yeah.
Has that one just? Do you sell that
no,
crazy?
No, I mean, there's a few auction houses around the world which you could easily look up, and they would sell that one. I don't know.
Well, I mean, copies. Do you have copies that you?
You can, and this is the thing.
Okay.
I mean, you can have a copy of anything. That's why. I referred $20 earlier.
Yeah.
And something like that. It's probably large format. So a lot of these early posters, they're really large, so it makes it expensive immediately.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't come to the small formats till a lot later. If it's small, and it probably isn't original.
Yeah, they were stone lithography,
right?
I think,
and they had to be that size because that was the size of the stones,
Yep.
So
the
you can't
stones.
You can't have things that are off size. I'm sure it's a large poster. I mean, it's incredibly rare. But you can take riffs off that. It's a theatre poster, isn't it? So it's kind of the racy side of the theatre. Because around turn of the century, a lot of the theatre posters were poor. They weren't very good at all. They'd feature a star that no one's ever heard of. So with the cat, they could have interchangeable talent within those shows, and they still had the sign of the cat. So that kind of thing.
This one made sense to me because it's a black cat, and that happens to be the name of the cabaret. But a cabaret with the name the Black Cat seems natural. It's a nighttime thing. It has some elegance to it. It has some mystery to it. That made sense to me. The thing that I learned in this conversation is, just dig a little deeper into the subject matter, and there's a lot of mystery in cats.
Yeah, and Steinlein, he was like a really good artist. Like Lautrec was a great artist. So I think there was a crossover for maybe 10 years where that happened, and then commercial art and fine art, they kind of disappeared into different directions.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I mean, this is my learning. I always thought that particular poster, Le Chat Noir, was Lautrec, and I never knew it was Steinlein until just recently. But you're right, because they both did advertising posters, and they were both of that time period.
Yeah, and fine artists, very well regarded. And like I said, that happened. I guess the money must have been in it at some point. And then as things happened, and by 1910, the great artists aren't doing theatre posters anymore, Yeah.
No. I think this is where the road forked between commercial work and fine art work. But yeah, Toulouse-Lautrec was, Todd, I could totally see why you'd think that because of the hand lettering and the bold swashes of color and everything like that. Very, very similar. I mean, they were definitely influencing one another.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's, I just made the incorrect assumption that all great posters of that time period, particularly advertising cabarets, were from one guy. But Theo had quite a collection of wonderful work as well.
So, Paul, if you had to list, like, where you're speaking from memory, or I'm asking you to speak from memory, what are your most memorable cat posters that you've sold, like either from a story in terms of the patron who came into the shop, or the poster itself and the subject matter and where it came from?
Yeah, I mean, the best posters you find in lofts or garages, so anything like that. We found a couple of cat feed ones, so nothing too exciting in that respect, but older posters get snapped up really quick, and obviously that's quite cool. You come out of a loft and the next minute you've sold something, which is kind of cool.
Right.
But yeah, I was thinking more along the lines of, I was definitely influenced by the Tom and Jerry and some of the cartoon cats of that era, for sure. If you could get a original Tom and Jerry poster, that is going to be a good poster to have. I was thinking about, as I said, T.S. Eliot cats. Anything related to that would be cool. And then one that occurred to me, which is more American, but hang on in there. There's a little cat.
Oh, that, yes.
Grabbing hold of a branch and trying to keep out of the river.
Goodness,
So, that was like a 70s, 80s
that's
thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh man, that's so great. That's sort of the feline precursor to Successories in a way, right? That was sort of in every classroom.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love. Yeah, there's still multiple iterations. When I was doing research, there are multiple iterations of that. It is. I'll bet you, I've never done I'm thinking about this in real time as we're talking. I wonder if there's tattoos, like hang in there tattoos.
There has
people
to be.
have got just their motivational tattoos with this cat. Yeah, we'll have to look that up. Yeah, that'd be like the ultimate feel-good thing, it seems like. So, Todd, I want to reference something that you and I talked about the other day, and Paul, I may have mentioned this to you as well. So, with all of these posters that we're talking about, and Todd, you mentioned the fact that you're sort of now drilling down into the deeper concepts of, the specifically why cats are pictured. One thing you had asked me, you're like, well, why are these cats? Like, why is it not a dog or a monkey or a zebra or, whatever? So I guess, if you're sort of the non-cat person here in a way, like, what do you think now that we've talked about these things? Do you feel that another animal could be swapped out and it would still work? Paul, I'll ask the question to you then. What do you think in terms of, like, some of these posters that you've sold or that we've talked about? Do you feel they would work?
Yeah, I think animals... Oh, well, first of all, animals sell. I think a good, like I said, I was just referring to a zebra earlier. I think good artists would trump a good cat. It's got to be the best artist. I think that's the thing to sort of consider. And just for current trends, like Snoopy is really hot at the moment, and that is a dog.
Really?
Yeah, it's peanuts.
Really?
Yeah, very hot. So. I mean, my sister had them on her wall in the late 70s. I'm giving my age away there, but basically, you'd pick them up for, 10 pence, and now you can get like 60 or 70 pounds for them. Yeah.
Whoa! Wow, man.
See, Todd, and you made fun of me for hanging on all my traffic.
I didn't know they would be worth anything.
Now I'm going to come back. Yeah, I know. And my scratch and sniff stickers and my Care Bear collection.
All of the posters that I probably have trashed, back in the 70s too. Of course, how many Kiss posters can one person have? That's probably where I was coming from.
That's an episode on its own.
Yeah, it's a therapy session. That's an Oprah show on its own.
It really is. So, Todd, what do you think? Do you think, given like the posters that we talked about and the concepts behind them, or the logic about the cats being inserted, whether it be Puss in Boots or the yarn or the cleanliness, do you think you could throw a monkey, a dog, something else in there and really have the same success? Like, not maybe aesthetic, but
what you
conceptual.
Made me see is all of the the concepts of felines, and not only, I mean, of course, it could have been a leopard, it could have been a lion, it could have been, a panther. They have similar conceptual characteristics, but they're not your pet. They're not something that lives in your home or could live in your home. So no, I just had never looked at it so deeply because I didn't get the concept behind that. And I don't know that, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I can't think of like a dog poster besides Snoopy, which is a property,
Snoopy,
but like I'm not thinking of just a generic dog that would be, advertising batteries or something dumb and friendly, and sorry if I just offended dog people. They just are unconditional love. But
what about like hush puppies? I mean, or slush puppies.
Yeah, but see, that doesn't. Yeah, that means slush puppies came because it rhymed with hush puppies, and hush puppies were just a comfortable shoe, right?
Yeah, or a snack in the South.
Yeah,
hush puppies.
Not represented by dogs, but yeah, but no.
Not made with dogs.
Some people like pictures of cats, and that's true. And some people, like that there's a little deeper quality behind. So what's that, Paul? Why are you laughing?
Well, we've spent 40 minutes.
We've established that.
Got to the point.
People like pictures of cats. And that's fine.
Todd just came to this. Took 40 minutes for Todd to come to this realization. Sure, everyone else on the internet might be onto something, but I'm not
people
fooled.
Like pictures of cats for no reason. Okay.
So, I would say in terms of more exotic cats, leopards or tigers or things, I think of, Paul, you tell me like posters for zoos or posters to travel and things like that, right? Oh, yeah.
Zoo posters. I mean, you're talking, very, very rare. Much sought after. I mean, not circus posters. So you could have a zoo poster and a circus poster of equal artistic merit. And the zoo poster these days would be way more popular. Not 10 years ago, but right now it would be.
Why is that?
Like people are.
I think people have fallen out of love with the circus a little bit.
Animal abuse.
And zoos, you could argue they're not much better, but at the moment they definitely have the upper hand over the circus by a long way.
Okay,
Elliot, it's pretty clear clowns don't live at the zoo.
Not for very long.
And if you associate with a clown, you deserve to go down.
Well, I will bite my tongue in terms of my podcast co-host and being associated with a clown. I won't say anything that might impugn one or both of us. But yeah, I think about things like come on this African safari, and then there'll be a panther in the jungle, or the tube posters, especially 100 years ago when they were trying to promote train travel in Britain. It's like, hey, come to the thus and such zoo in London or whatever. Come see this animal.
It's the same thing as the cats. Pre-war, it's good artistic merit. Post-war, it's more cartoony. Yeah. And then in the 70s, it just goes off the rails and goes totally wacky, which a lot of people like.
Yeah, so surrealism, Todd, like what we've talked about a little bit. That was when everybody discovered mushrooms and tiny, colorful pills, and then the animals were talking back to them suddenly.
Well, there you go. It became much more interactive then, didn't it?
Yeah.
This has been a wonderful conversation. And, Paul, you're always dropping the knowledge bombs on us.
He is. He went and actually did real research. He looked up people, and he saw if they were related to one another. Yeah. He knows all about the different eras.
I'm feeling like...
Yeah. I know. And the sizes and the printing techniques. And, that's why, I can just put a shameless plug in now and say, please take a look online. 365 poster, or otherwise graphics, GRAFIX. And you might see something that you like.
Absolutely. We'll put your links in our episode notes as well, so everyone will have access to those, and you only need to send us 3 or 4 or 5 cat posters for us to do that. So
I've got a cat poster. I mean, one of the ones I've threatened to send you is a cat poster.
There you go. Well, it's the Marshall poster. I'll be looking for the giant tube.
Yeah, it's the original.
In the mail.
The original Chat Noir.
Oh, Paul, perfect. You were keeping it a secret, weren't you?
He was.
Yeah,
He
I've
was.
got one on my desk right here.
He does. He does. His cat's
He's
currently
chasing the
nibbling
cat
on
away.
it.
Had it rolled
It's
up,
just
like
rolled up.
chasing it away.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
beating the cat with it. Get out of here! I'm recording.
Yes, please check out Paul's blog. Please and check out your stores too. And Paul, you also you post almost daily on the socials.
Oh my gosh.
Which is really great, cool inspiration.
We love it. It's constant. It's a constant avalanche of inspiration. It's wonderful.
Every day, and what I know over the 5 or 6 years I've been posting. I mean, I know it's terrible to say, but I know what's going to get those likes.
Yeah. He's a poster algorithm, Todd. We can just start lobbing ideas
We're gonna
and say,
start
"What do you
seeing
think of this
lots
one,
of
Paul?" And he'll be
cats.
like, "Nah."
Paul's gonna be posting cats and.
I have been posting
dang.
cats for years.
Yeah.
I might have even created this
You
trend.
may be the internet meme creator that we found person zero here.
That's how we do research. We just go to the source.
All right, this has been great, gentlemen.
Paul, thank you so much for joining us again,
Yes,
and we
thank you.
appreciate sharing all your knowledge. Todd, thank you for buying our drinks. We appreciate that too.
Wait, what?
Oh, come on.
What?
That's
Oh,
why we
again.
think you're the cat's meow.
Oh, and you hit with a corny joke. This is insult to injury, man.
Yeah. Well, you can choose which is which.
Oh, all right. See you, everybody.
Take care.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.